Hi, I'm Brian Elrod. I want to welcome you to a training that I'm calling Making You Successful Today, or Must. Now, if you're here looking for some kind of slick presentation, some kind of professional looking thing, this is not it. I'm here to try and help you be successful on the internet. By the end of this training, you're going to have a much better idea of what to do, how to make money, how to get leads. Now, let me stop right now and say that there are going to be no guarantees of income. Any income examples I give are just that, they're examples, and I cannot guarantee that you're going to make one penny. I don't know you. I don't know how hard you're going to work. Now, if you do want to be successful, then I'm going to show you how to do it. And if you'll follow my step by step instructions and do everything that I tell you to do, you're going to be successful. Now, I want to thank you for giving me your trust and for giving me your time in going through this. Now, this is part one, the introduction, and as it says, it's a step by step guide to becoming successful online. Now, I started to call this, Why Are Some People So Successful, but I Can't Get Anyone to Even Open My Emails. But I thought that might have been a little bit much. But you get the idea. So many people are having trouble on the internet. I think the statistic is 97% fail. Now, I want to try and change that. I don't like that. I know that a lot of people put a lot of time and effort and money into trying to be successful, and then for whatever reason, they're not. It's usually some small thing that they're doing that's just not working. So I want to try and change that. I want to show you the proper way and how some of the top earners are doing things. Now, as I said before, you need to go through this step by step and do everything that I tell you to do. If you skip even one small step, chances are you're not going to be successful. Let's go ahead and get started. And before we get to the actual training, I want to introduce myself. Okay, I'm Brian Elrod. I'm a husband, a father, and a teacher. Now, I've been teaching for over 26 years. During that time, I've taught a lot of people. Now, let me tell you right up front, I went into teaching because I wanted to help people change their lives. Same thing I'm doing here. I want to help you change your life. I didn't go into it for the money. My main motivation is seeing other people become successful. And that's why I went into teaching. I've taught elementary to adults. I've taught kindergartners and I've taught adult classes. So I know how to teach. I know how to get the point across, but I've never been one of these that stands up in front and lectures and does all the boring stuff. I like to get in there with my students and help them learn. Now, during this time, I've learned a lot of tricks, if you want to call it that, to help people learn whatever we're teaching. By the way, the primary thing, I taught music. That was my subject. I grew up loving music. I grew up, listening to a lot of music. My main instrument is French horn. I taught music, but I've also taught a lot of other subjects. I feel like I'm well qualified to teach you how to be successful online. I've also been a mentor to other teachers. During my time, I was selected to help new teachers, to help other teachers who were having problems. As I said before, I've taught classes to adults. I've taught workshops. My main thing is I want to help others become successful, whether it's helping a teacher be successful in their classroom, helping a student be successful on their instrument, helping someone learn math. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see people to become successful. Let's get to my actual story. As I said before, I've taught for over 26 years. I grew up primarily in the South. You can probably tell from my accent. I've lived in the South all my life. Some people say that I talk a little bit slower, but I think that's a good thing because that helps someone to understand. I'm a single income earner. I am married, but me and my wife decided very early in our marriage that, especially when we started having children, I was going to work, earn the money. She was going to stay home and raise the children. But that's what we had decided to do, and that's what we're still doing to this day. I don't know if I said it on the other slide, but I do have 2 children. My first try at online marketing was in the 90s, and it totally bombed. I don't know that I made more than maybe 2 or 3 sales. If you think back in the 90s, that was the early days of the internet. So people were still trying to figure out what to do. There were no mentors, gurus. There was no one out there really to try and help someone else. So I, along with pretty much everybody that I knew, bombed. It was not a good time. I stayed out of marketing for over 2 years, or 10 years, excuse me. I just concentrated on my teaching. I just stayed away from it. I didn't feel the need. I re-entered marketing in 2009. 2009 was a time when the economy was really starting to slow down and we were starting to have some problems. But my teaching salary was beginning to actually decline. I was making less every year. Now, the biggest reason was because we had what was called furlough days. So we would not work so many days and then subsequently we wouldn't get paid for that. So, my salary went down. Now, prices of everything did not go down along with it. They were going up. So I had to do something. So I started back in online marketing. I got to admit, once again, at first, no results. I was making no sales. I was having no luck. But I was doing everything that I could to try and figure this out. And looking back, this is the period where I learned more than I have in any other period in online marketing. But I spent literally tens of thousands of dollars on products with very little results. Now, if you've been in online marketing for any time at all, I got to tell you, there's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of junk. There's a lot of good products too. One of the problems, though, even with the good products, is the guru types will sell these products and then there's no real help in implementing them. And to them, these may be honestly very easy to do. But to someone who has no experience in it, it's not that easy. And there are a lot of pitfalls and a lot of traps that you have to know how to get around. So I was having very little results because of, really not having anyone to help me out. Then things started to change. I finally found someone who told me the truth and gave me a plan that turned my business around. There are a lot of people out there who will tell you what you want to hear. You don't need that. You don't need someone who will tell you what you want to hear. You need someone who will tell you what you need to hear. And it's not always pretty. It will often maybe even get you upset. But in the long run, if you will listen and do what they tell you to do, things are going to get better. You gotta realize they've been there and done that. You gotta follow them. And you need a plan that's going to turn your business around. Now, through this training that you're currently involved in, I'm going to give you that plan. I'm going to tell you some truths that you need to hear. I'm going to give you a plan, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's the real secret. Everybody is always looking for the secrets. I'm about to tell you the secret. First of all, there is no secret. Stop looking for the shortcuts. There's not some kind of secret that, is out there locked in some kind of vault that nobody's telling you. It doesn't exist. Most people on the internet are honest. There are some that aren't, but most are honest, and they're telling you the truth. One of our problems that we have, though, is that we hear the truth, but we think, yeah, there's got to be more to it than that. It can't be that easy. Well, I'm telling you, it is. If you know the right course, it is that easy. And there are no secrets. You have to be willing to put your ego aside and listen. Stop trying to defend everything. Just listen. Follow directions exactly as they're given. Don't try and take the shortcuts. Follow directions. Don't skip any steps. No matter how uncomfortable you are or how useless they may seem, you can't skip any steps. That's where most people make big mistakes. You got to do all the steps. And let me say one other thing right here. You've got to be willing to put some money into it. If you're looking for the free stuff and for ways to do everything without spending any money, you're not going to be successful. I'm telling you right now, you will not be successful. You've got to be willing to spend some money. There's an old saying that says you've got to have money to make money. Now, I'm not telling you you've got to have $1 million sitting around. I'm going to show you some ways to cut your costs way down so that you don't spend tens of thousands of dollars like I did. I'm going to give you some inexpensive routes, but you've got to be willing to spend some money. You do not know more than those who have gone before you and are successful. So listen to them. Let me say that again. You do not know more than those who have gone before you and are successful. If somebody is successful, then do what they're telling you to do. give it your 100%. Because if you do exactly what they tell you to do and they're successful, you're going to become successful. The last thing, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. In other words, if it's working for somebody else, stop trying to find a new way to do it. Just do what they're doing. I'm not saying copy them, but model them. Model what they're doing. Don't copy it word for word. Just model it. Let's get into the goals for this training. I've got 3 very simple goals. 1, to give you the proper mindset for success. Proper mindset is probably the biggest problem in this internet marketing world. Everybody wants to take the shortcuts. They want to throw up a website and have money falling from the sky immediately. Well, we both know that's not going to happen. We're going to get into that in another video. I want to teach you the proper way to market online. Most people are not doing it the proper way. So I'm going to teach you the proper way to do it. And 3, give you an exact plan for success. I do not want you fast forwarding to the plan. We've got to go in order. Without the proper mindset, you're not going to market properly online. And the plan won't work. So you've got to get things in the correct order. If you don't, you're going to be part of the 97% failures. If you do, your chances are much, much, much better for success. So I want to thank you for listening to this video, and I'll see you in the next one.